Let's take a closer look at why Hamilton and Leclerc have been disqualified after the US Grand Prix ended. Both have been disqualified because the plank underneath their car showed too much wear, which means the car was too low. But why only these two were disqualified and not their teammates or others? To understand this, we have to understand how legality is being checked in F1. There are so many rules and paragraphs that not every car can be checked for every single rule after every race. And so cars are only checked randomly, and if there is a certain suspicion in certain areas. And sometimes if there is a certain topic the FIA is after. The rule about plank wear is 3.5.9e. It says the plank needs to be uniformly 10 mm thick plus minus 0.2 mm, and it shouldn't have less than 9 mm thickness after a race. The plank has titanium skid blocks to avoid extensive wear. These blocks have holes, so you can measure the plank thickness. As we talked about in my earlier videos, teams were playing around with soft mounting of skid blocks and soft insulating material between floor and the rest of the car to be able to drive lower but still not having too much wear. The FIA redefined the rules about the plank a couple of times, the last time was in Singapore. So after the US Grand Prix, they checked 4 cars: Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris and Verstappen. So the first 3 plus Leclerc, so 4 different teams. Usually the officials around Joe Bauer should randomly check cars, but if they have a suspicion, they pick certain cars. This could be because the team was too close to the limit before at another race, or close to the limit after qualifying and sprint, and the officials would guess that after 56 race laps there would be more wear. And here the sprint weekend contributes to the problem. Teams only have the Friday with 60 minutes running time to get their setup right. After that, the cars are in parc fermé and the setup cannot be changed. That also means they are not allowed to change the plank. And now we had teams with larger updates this weekend: Aston Martin, Haas, AlphaTauri and Mercedes. These teams need to get to know their cars in 60 minutes and find a setup that doesn't wear the plank too much throughout the whole weekend, or be lucky enough to not be checked on Sunday after the race. Especially Aston Martin and Haas with their huge updates had a risk here, and chose a conservative setup with high ride height, which lost them some downforce, and we could see that with their performance this weekend. Mike Crack confirmed that they were too careful on Friday. In the end, both teams decided to start from the pit lane, which allowed both to adjust their setup and fit a new plank. All others couldn't do that because they didn't start from the pit lane. Additionally, the Texas track is extremely bumpy and now even more than in previous years. Also, on this track you have to drive on the curbs to be fast. That means that it's very easy for teams to have too much wear and to get the setup wrong. So the FIA picked 4 cars to check. They couldn't check more because these checks take quite some time, so 4 was the maximum number. Verstappen and Norris were fine. Hamilton and Leclerc had less than 9 mm plank thickness at the rear measuring points. Both cars were disqualified and both teams accepted it because it was pretty clear. So in the end, a sprint weekend is always a gamble in terms of setup. If the track is then bumpier than you thought, and you bring a large update and need to understand your new car first, it becomes even riskier. Some cars might have been lucky to not have been checked, but 2 got disqualified. And by the way, their teammates had slightly different setups and were slightly higher. Another reason for the choice of the FIA. If you are interested in working in F1's aero development, check out my online career accelerator program. It's an intensive 6-week course which helps you to prepare yourself for a career in F1 with CATIA V6 licenses and lots of valuable knowledge you can only get from people who worked in the industry. The first people who finished this course are already working in F1's aero departments, so you could be the next one. Check out the course with the link below and make sure you state that you found the course through my YouTube channel. See you at the next one.